Hey guys, what's up? I'm Chad, and I'm hoping to start a new series of videos right here. This is just going to be some League gameplay with some commentary over it. And this game, I'm going to be playing a rank 3v3 with my team, and I'm going to be playing Shaco, a AD assassin character that I usually run jungle and I happen to really fucking love. Now, since this isn't a 5v5, I'm actually just going to be laning, and I'm not really going to have to get the Hunter's Machete and the 5 potions for the sustain and the extra damage to the neutral mobs. So instead, I'm just going to start out with a Vamp Scepter, so I can quickly build into my main core item on Shaco, which is Blade of the Rune King. Plus, Vamp Scepter gives me that lifesteal, which will really help in sustain in lane. Now, in my opinion, Blade of the Rune King is probably one of the best items you can build in Shaco, and this is for 2 reasons. Not only does it have that huge active, which is a 15% max health nuke, along with the lifesteal and the extra attack speed, it also has its passive, which is bonus damage equal to 5% of the current target's current health. Now, this is a lot of damage outright, but when combined with Shaco's clone, which applies all on-hit effects, it essentially doubles that. And this is a huge damage spike that will really help you carry out those assassinations, whether you're jungling, you're trying to gank, or if you're just trying to burst down the ADC in a team fight. Okay, so right here, all 3 of us are trying to hide in this bush, to start an early team fight and try to get ahead as soon as possible. Now, this is probably a good idea for us because Shaco has an incredibly strong early game, and Jax started with his stun. And also, Lux's E, as you see right here, it can be shot into a bush, and it reveals the bush, allowing us to have the advantage to initiate instead of just straight walking into a bush and face checking. However, as you see, the enemy team didn't want to start that early team fight, and instead headed straight to lane. Now in bot lane, it's going to be Ezreal up against Jax and I, because Warwick built to go jungle. And because of this, it gives us a real advantage early on, because Warwick has such a weak engage and gank until level 6 with his R. And since we don't have to worry about Warwick and the pressure he can put on from ganking us, Jax and I can push Ezra really hard and bully him in lane, and we can prevent him from getting farm, which will really help in slowing down his item builds and prevent him from being a huge factor in the team fights until later on in the game. Okay, so leaving Jax alone in lane is not going to be any problem because, after all, he is a top champion. So, because I see Aurelia is really pushed up, so I deceive in, throw a shiv to slow her and exhaust her, hoping to secure the kill on her. But sadly, she uses exhaust on me and she ghosts away, and it allows her to live. But she burnt 2 summoner spells for hour 1, and she has to be, allowing Lux to extra farm, so we came out on top of that. Lux and Jax right here are testing the waters per se to see if it's at all possible for us to take their altar too in addition to ours, but since I'm so low on health, the only thing I'll really contribute to if a team fight breaks out is feeding the other team, and after all, I am on purple team and not blue team, so I'm just gonna go straight to altar and take it. And there you go. Okay, please ignore this. This was slightly embarrassing. I can't even take the big wolf, and I'm forced to be, but I guess getting the gold and wasting the time on one of the small wolves was worth it, but oh well, it can't be perfect. Okay, so for my first time back, I'm going to pick up just some basic boots because Shaco's all about that mobility. And I'm going to pick up a Fairy Charm as well. Now, Shaco really doesn't have a lot of mana problems, just because his skills are on some relatively long cooldowns, and you don't really need to use them constantly. They're more of a situational use. It still really helps to be able to cast an extra spell or 2 in a fight, or stay in lane longer and have a bigger impact in the game, since I'm not going to be jungling like I would in a 5v5 and have that blue buff for at least the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game, where Shaco can possibly run into mana problems. Now right here I'm placing a box right in the middle of an entrance to the lane. And what this does is it essentially wards it, because of course as a champion walks by the box, it will proc, and it will fear and attack the enemy for just a couple seconds. And this is one of the reasons why I think Shaco is such a great pick in threes. Because in a game type where there's no wards, having the ability to place down a box or anything that can reveal the enemy's position, even if it lasts for a minute, is a huge tactical advantage. And it saves you from investing money in something like a Grez's Spectral Lantern or an item that gives you a vision on the map. So right here, I'm just kind of wandering, just trying to make a play or something. I put a box in the bush over there, so if someone steps in there and two of us are nearby, we can hop on him when he's temporarily feared. And then hopefully with that momentum, we can take an altar or something. But nothing really came out of it right now, so we just go back to the farming game and bottom, and we keep pushing Ez to tower. Like I said before, I really want that altar, and right there, it's pretty good for us because Ezreal actually just burned his ult on me trying to get me off that altar, and he really didn't need to because I was going to leave anyways because it was 2v1, there's no way in hell I was going to take that altar, and it just gives us the ability to outdamage them if a fight does break off because he doesn't have that ultimate to rely on for the constant damage. And right here is what I'm looking for. I caught Warwick out, he walked in one of my boxes, and we're making him pay. And even though Lux just died top lane, getting first blood, probably got caught out by Aurelia's stun, we immediately turned that around and we got a kill in Warwick, getting us some gold as well. So even though we are kind of behind in that fight because they did get first blood and the extra gold, we got some gold to kind of mitigate that loss. Okay, I'm not gonna lie right here, this was sort of a bad play on our part because Jax hopped in there, and since Warwick finally hit level 6, not only did he get exhausted, minimizing his damage potential, but he got completely zoned by Warwick, and then Ezreal fired in his ultimate, giving that extra damage and getting him down really fast, allowing us not to get a single kill out of that fight. So that was a pretty bad play by us, but it's still really early, it's still only 2-1, and they don't even have an 1,000 gold advantage on us yet, so it's not too bad of a loss for us. Next time, though, we're going to really try to shift our focus to Ezreal, because that was a mistake on our part, especially for me, since I kept attacking Warwick even when he had Infinite Duress going, which is constantly giving him some health regen, which means my attacks really weren't doing that much, and I really should have shifted my focus onto Ezreal, because not only was he doing the damage, but he can't regenerate the damage he takes like Warwick can. So it would have been better in the long run, even if Jax would have died in the end. It would have given us a slightly better outcome than our already shitty outcome we had from that fight. It's all about that mitigation. You really just have to make the most of your losses and just try to find that opportunity to bounce back. Not going to lie here, the next couple minutes are pretty boring. It's honestly just both teams just kind of wandering around looking for an opportunity to go in for a team fight. So I'm just going to kind of take this time to introduce myself. Like I said before, I'm Chad. I'm currently going to the University of Central Florida, and I'm majoring in biology, and I'm really interested in botany. I play guitar, as you see on my channel. There's a lot of videos, a lot of covers. And once I get some recording equipment again, I had to get a new laptop near the end of summer, so I lost all my licenses of my recording software. I'm gonna get some more covers out, and I'm definitely gonna record some of my own original material in addition to doing some of these if it takes off, if you guys like it. And as always, just like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing, or just to share your opinion, and I appreciate anything you guys say. Alright, right here I'm trying to bait a fight. They don't know I'm there. I have some boxes in the bush, so if they walk in, they're going to get feared and attacked by the boxes, leaving Jackson and I to hop right on them and finish them off real quick. But they don't fall for it, and instead they kind of just fall back. So, I mean, it happens, and I shouldn't be waiting there that long, but I was just waiting for another box to proc so it would act as a ward. And I was hoping that Warwick was going to do something, and it looks like he is. Yeah, we just really didn't have the damage right there to fight that. Warwick has a lot of sustain, and since Jackson and I are still lower levels and we don't really have any completed items yet, we didn't have necessarily the constant DPS to get them both down and win that fight with confidence and without risk. Alright, right here is where it gets interesting. We see all three of the enemy team are in the jungle, so we go in. I instantly get hopped on by Aurelia and Ezreal, but I pop hallucinate, and it makes them lose their focus since I blink for half a second, while Lux fires her R and instantly kills Aurelia, while Jax hops on Warwick and gets him down low too. And I'm thinking, oh, the team fight's over, and they're chasing Ezreal, gonna clean it up, I'm just gonna be and buy, but then I realize, oh wait, the altar's clear to take, and I really want the altar. So I go, and we get that bonus attack damage, bonus AP, and bonus gold per second. Alright, so now that we don't have to worry about the enemy team pushing objectives for a couple minutes, I'm just going to clear out this minion wave real fast and go back to base for my third buy. Okay, so now I finally have enough gold to finish off my Bilge Water Cutlass, which will give me that active for a, I believe it's 120 damage on the enemy champion. And then I bought 2 daggers to further my build on my Blade of the Rune King, which I'll get on my 4th buy. And right there I got a little trigger happy, accidentally bought 3 daggers instead of 2 that I needed to finish out my Blade of the Rune King. But that was a mistake on my part, so I just sell it and I lose just a little bit of gold. But then I see Aurelia is really pushed up, so I take an opportunity and I rush up there and try to get the kill on her. And yet again, Aurelia manages to get away from me. What a slippery little fuck. Anyways, I rotate bottom, and Jackson and I happen upon Warwick, who's clearing out his wolves. Jack hops on him, stuns him, and we sweep up yet another kill for our team, giving us a bigger goal advantage. Now, since Aurelia is busy up top, and we just managed to kill Warwick, I'm really hoping that Jackson and I can finally put some damage on this tower, because even though we're 14 minutes in the game, neither side has gotten a single objective, so I'm hoping to change that. We have the tower pushed up with minions, and I pop hallucinate, and I make my clone attack the tower, doubling my damage output on the tower, while Jax does what Jax does best and pushes the hell out of that tower and gets it down pretty damn far in the few seconds we manage to attack it. But then Warwick returns the lane, so Jax and I are forced to fall back for a bit, and I take the little health pack in the middle of the map to stop anybody else on the enemy team from getting it. Gives me a little health, gives me a little mana, keeps me in the map longer, and stops me from going back to base. And we had kind of had a bad engage there, so we had to fall back, and I got really close to death. Luckily, Jax kind of helped me out there and stopped Warwick from getting to me. And yeah, that's pretty much just about. Oh shit, that was really close. Luckily, Lux got her shield on me last second, and that's pretty much the only thing that saved me. And that was a really good play because that turned a 1 kill for 0 kills, 2 for 0 into a 1 for 0. And goddamn, go Lux. Okay, so it's time for my 4th buy, and you know what that means. Sadly, since I got hurt so bad in that fight, I had to go back a little early and recover my health. But as it was, I was only about 20 gold off from getting my Blade of the Ruined King, so I just waited there for a few seconds, and I finally have it built. This gives me a lot more sustain in lane, gives me a lot more damage, and it should really start making those fights go our way more often. Alright, so at this point in the game, nothing really too big is happening. I'm just trying to push out the lane a bit and get some more farm. And I'm trying not to get my ass stunned by Aurelia because she has 2 levels on me. And having her hop on me when I'm stunned would really put some damage on me. And I kind of need that health to help out in a team fight if one does break out. And personally, I just don't like dying. You know, feeding is kind of bad. Lo and behold, right here, Jax got caught out when trying to take back the enemy's altar for us. Warwick hopped on and exhausted him, and then he got burst down pretty low by Ezreal. But luckily, he manages to hop away to a blue minion, and Lux and I kind of clean up because she does a massive amount of damage on that R of hers. And then Aurelia just kind of swoops around, lands 1 combo, and gets a kill on the less than 100 HP Jax. Better nerf Aurelia. Alright, just pushing up the wave a little bit, getting some more farm. Ezreal's trying to poke us, misses. Nothing's really happening. Looks like Ezreal's going blue. Got the Iceborne Gauntlet on him. Alright, so now we have that wave push. I'm just going to try to take a gamble and try to take this altar. And I have a box placed right there in the bush for a getaway. And luckily I did because as soon as I stepped on there, Warwick hopped on me and infinite duressed me. So I lean through, he gets feared by the box. Jax comes in, hops on him, stuns him. I pop exhaust, and we get the kill. And I almost get killed by Ezreal's ult. Yet again. But luckily it was a good, clean kill and a good, clean engage, and we came out on top. Alright, so I'm getting, not burst down pretty hard, but I'm taking a lot of aggro. And personally, an item I really love to build on Shaco is Rainwind's Omen. As you see here, I just bought the 2 cloth armors for the Warden's Mail. But the thing about Rainwind's Omen is that it really gives you some decent sustain. It gives you the armor, it gives you extra health, and it gives you the active, which can really help out on a really AD-heavy team. And since Shaco isn't the tankiest jungle by far and can easily get focused, especially late game where he tends to drop off, having a little bit extra sustain and a little bit extra tankiness can really help out and secure your team those kills. And to be honest, Shaco really doesn't need to be built straight AD. He has some pretty good attack speed, he has some really good damage, especially if you proc his passive correctly, and the Q has that that instant crit on it. And, I mean, I usually build a Blade of the Ruined King and a Last Whisper, but I mean, it's wonderful and all that you can 3-shot any enemy champion in another team and all, but if you're just going to get caught out and dying 2 shots anyways before you can get away, really, what's the point? It's better to be well-rounded than completely focused on one build, because Shaco, like I said, his kit already compensates for that lack of AD, and having the extra tankiness in late game can really help out if you don't necessarily snowball early game. because Shaco, as a character, does have a tendency to drop off mid to late game in most cases. And like I said, if you just build a little bit of tankiness, it can really help mitigate that weakness. Goddamn, we're close to taking that tower, though. But honestly, it's not really that big of a deal because we're still ahead. And honestly, if we were to dive that, it would have been too big of a risk because it was Aurelia and it was Warwick defending the tower. Both of them have a stun. Well, a suppress if you count Warwick. And if we were going to dive it, we were just going to get disabled, take a bunch of tower aggro, and we are probably going to end up dying. So we made the smart call to kind of fall back a bit. I pushed bot lane, and now we're going to try to contest our altar. Someone threw down dust right there in that bottom bush. And Jax is kind of just peeling them off from us to give Lux and I a little breathing room so we can take the altar. And there he goes. So now we're going to rotate bottom, and we're going to try to take this tower finally. It's really low. Only we'll take a couple of hits, especially if Jax there. And it looks like a fight's going to break out, actually. Oh, there goes a snare. There goes the ult, and now they're going to get away. But we got the tower, though. First objective of the game, might I add. Gives us a little bit of gold advantage, and now Aurelia got caught out. Looks like she's going to get Jax down. Luckily, he put a Blade of the Rune King. Gives him a little extra sustain. And we get the kill. Now, we're kind of free to rotate top if we want. Take that tower since it's already low. Or we can just keep going bottom like we are, and we might get an inhibitor out of that. I mean, we got tower down about halfway, but it was kind of pointless to fight Ez there. We really don't have any disables up right now, and if we were going to get him low, he was just going to run right back to pad, heal up, and keep harassing us. So we're just going to kind of regroup. I'm just going to pester Warwick here, and there you go. Jax with a split push right there. Gives us another tower, gives us even more momentum. And the gold is finally shifting and staying in our favor. Just putting down a little preventative box right there. I mean, if they stand on our altar and try to take it, it's going to give us vision of them anyways. But why not just put down something to kind of disable them a bit and give us the opportunity to hop on them without them trying to make a counterattack. Really just trying to push out lane right there. How sneaky. And then I see Warwick kind of encroaching on our altar over there, and Lux is trying to stop him. And kind of gets caught out in a bad position, and she gets focused down real fast. But I pop Hallucinate, and I start focusing the Warwick. And luckily, both Aurelia and Warwick start focusing my clone, which means I pretty much get out of that scot-free and pick up another kill. And I didn't even notice it at first, but Lux actually managed to pick off Ezreal when she engaged in that 3v1. So that's even better because now the only person left on our team is Aurelia. And it looks like Jax is going to get her. No, he doesn't. But now we're free to push the tower again. Or take aggro and run away in fear like I'm doing. But yeah, I just kind of doubled back there, finished off the last of that wave, and now we have our wave of minions pushing that tower, so now we can actually get some damage on it. But Ezreal and Aurelia are up. Actually, the whole team's up now, so we didn't really get much out of that, except for a triple kill, of course. Well, double kill. Really didn't get killed, but still. Alright, still just buying into my Randuin's Omen right there. Finished off my Warden's Mail and just bought a Giant's Belt. This is really going to help my sustain even further. Give me a little extra health to survive and stay in the fight longer. Get a couple backstabs out, a couple more auto attacks out, a couple more skills off. And this means I can have a little bit more free reign and actually directly engaging. Just kind of queuing in there and throwing in a box, proccing that fear on them so the rest of the team can follow up. Looks like they took back their altar. But, I mean, it's really not going to matter too much right now. We're just really going to respond by pushing out that lane. We kind of have them playing the defensive now, because really in a team fight, they can't really do too much about us. Jax just has way too much damage for them to counter, and Lux's ult really just either melt them if they group up together, or force them to separate, and then we can just pick them off one by one. So we got this minion wave pushed up, and it looks like this tower is about to go down. As only Ez is defending it, and Warwick's and Aurelia's are just kind of hanging out there. And there you go. Third tower of the game. And it looks like we're going to try to get Inhibitor? No. Double back. Aurelia and Warwick. Fight breaks out. Ooh, that Lux ult. Let's see here what's going on. I kind of had to break off just because I didn't want to get bursted down. I'm going to try to regroup, or I'm just going to take the altar since they can't really defend it anymore. Ooh, double kill. Like I said, Jax kind of just goes man mode on them. Can't really do much about it at this point. And pick up the health back. Just going to take some jungle mobs here, give me a little extra gold, finish off that Randuin, start my last Whisper. But at this point, the odds are heavily tipping in our favor. They haven't gotten a single tower on us yet, and we have them pushed up to Inhibitor in bot lane. So we just really got to win that final team fight and get that final push in, and it's pretty much GG after that. Looks like Shaco's getting some pretty good cardio over there. Running across the map and whatnot will do that to you. Look at all that juicy farm. Just gonna kill a couple minions here. And it looks like Ezreal's just gonna try to harass us out. But Jax is on his way, and we'll turn this around real quick once he gets here. Fucking hate blue Ezreal, the Iceborne Gauntlet. Just gonna duck up the top lane. Aurelia's trying the whole split push game. Has a little wave going there, but she ducked up near Vilemall, so I'm gonna see if I can't just kind of interrupt her being, just delay her a little bit longer and whatnot. Just kind of force her down, force her to run away instead of just being directly where she is. And it looks like Jax is gonna go in. A 3v1, eh? They take the altar, but we got a fight burn there. And Warwick is down for the count. And we're just going to push our advantage over there. This might finally be the break we need to get that inhibitor and finally win the game. That Ez ult doing damage as it always does. Lux and I are kind of low, but Jax should pretty much soak up any damage they try to do. He forces them back to pad, and he slowly starts taking that inhibitor down while I pushed out the last of their wave. And there you go. Inhibitor's down. It's going to be spawning some super minions, and Aurelia's gone. Still got 10 more seconds on Warwick, and the only person in their base left is Ezreal. And we might be able to push to win. I'm not too sure, though, just because they're both kind of low. And if Ezreal gets lucky, he might be able to catch them both off with the Iceborne Gauntlet. They won't be able to get away. But it looks like he might at least be able to get that Nexus Tower, so the next time we do manage to push in the base, it's only going to take a couple of seconds for us to end it. Now, Ezreal does manage to get Jax, but Lux responds and gets him immediately afterwards. So like I said, I'm just going to push top up a bit, put a little pressure on him so we do kind of find that opportunity we need to sneak up into the base. And it looks like Warwick's coming down to say hello. Now I'm trying to engage on this Warwick, especially since he's alone, and Lux is still pretty healthy. And oh, it looks like she gets infinite arrested, gets down pretty quickly, and Warwick starts focusing on me, but I pop Hallucinate, kind of breaks his focus, starts targeting my clone instead. And I get that exhaust on him, and he goes down pretty quickly. I mean, normally it really wouldn't be the best idea to solo Warwick just because he has so much lifesteal, but with my clone and the extra damage output it gives, plus this Warwick's kind of behind, it really wasn't that big of a risk. Sucks that Lux had to die, but, I mean, I don't know, they really didn't gain much out of that. Alright, so now I'm just going to take a little stroll back to base and pick up a couple of items. Instead of actually finishing off my Random Zoman, since we're pretty much coming out ahead in team fights, and I'm not really dying at all, or really taking that much damage anymore, I'm actually going to finish off my last Whisper just to get that extra attack damage and that extra 35% armor penetration. It's going to help us output even more damage and help us take down the towers and the Nexus even faster, and hopefully close out this game within the next couple minutes. Alright, so right here I'm just going to go up and try to take the enemy altar. Now, if I take the altar, that's great and all. We really don't need it right now, but what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to bait a fight out so we can finally push to win. But Aurelia and Warwick really aren't having it because they know as soon as they try going in on me, I'm just going to deceive away. And then Jax or Lux are going to come in and clean up. So they're just trying to play defensively, which is probably a smart idea on their part considering Jax and Lux are pushing their lanes. So I'm just going to kind of go in on Jax here. He's getting hit pretty hard by Warwick. And that was kind of badly communicated. He didn't tell me he was going back in, but I hop in anyways, and I finish off Warwick, even though Jax had to die. And then I turn my attention to Ezreal, and man, that was a really close ultimate by Lux. We could have had him there if it hit, but he runs back to pad, and he recovers up his health real good. So I'm just going to fall back a little bit since Aurelia is still full health. And Lux is still taking that tower up top. They're turning their attention to me since they have an opening there. Just going to let the minions do the work there. We have a couple super minions there pushing. Alright, I just recalled there just for a second, just to get my health up anyways, because we really can't push to win when Jax is still down, and I just want to be full health for that final push we're going to get in here. And I'm just going to go up top lane and see if I can't help Lux take that tower down. Just getting a little extra cardio here, you know, running across the lanes and whatnot. And there you go. Lux got a kill on Ezreal, and that should give us the leverage we need to end this game. Take a little bit of target aggro there. And then Warwick engages with the Infinite Duress. He tries to get some damage in, but, I mean, they're really not going to get too much in right there. Lux stasises while they focus their attention on her. My hallucination clones are going in and just doing some damage. And I end up getting Lux and I think Aurelia. I didn't get the ship off in time. Cooldown must have been up. Anywho, Jax is pretty much just pushing to win at this point. There you go. Got her. And Jax can pretty much solo the tower and the Nexus, and he's going to do that any second now, and it's GG. Anywho, I know I'm not the best player by any means, but I hope this is at least fun to watch and whatnot. And I hope also, like, from watching these replays and putting my own commentary on it, I'm also learning a lot, and I hope I improve my gameplay and I get some better and more interesting games out there too for you guys to enjoy. Just some closing notes. I mean, I know I made some stupid mistakes. I know I didn't play nearly as aggressive as I should have, especially with, like, that Aurelia in the end there. I mean, I guess the idea in my head is that she was just going to run the pad since my ship was on cooldown. I couldn't finish her off and just come back with full health. But anywho, I hope you guys kind of just, like, forgive the rookie mistakes I make and stay tuned for some better gameplay and some more gameplay.